has a useful life of 10 years, no residual value. So, tell me, when are they going to start amortizing this equipment? Right when we get it, April 1st? No, we're going to wait till it's used. And when is that? End of August, right? So, amortize when used, end of August. Okay. Donation for tournaments contributed January 1st, year 5. The condition that the principal amount of $35,000 be invested in corporate bonds. Interest earned is for travel costs, and all investment in bonds will be held to the maturity date. What does that tell you this is? Endowment. Okay? So even if they hadn't mentioned it further up, the fact that the principal can't be touched and it's got a specified use for its interest or dividends makes it an endowment. Now, they tell you the interest is 2.1 in the on the other page, but you could calculate it. Sometimes they don't tell you the interest, you just calculate it. And remember, interest can only be used for travel costs. Okay, provincial government pledged $50,000 a year for operating costs. 90% of the grant is advanced throughout the year, and then they'll issue the last 10%. So that's just a typical way someone could give a grant. Now, registration fees and rental for the hockey arena are received at the beginning of the hockey season, and covers the whole season from September 1st to April 30th. So, all that money you got, can you recognize it all as revenue this year? No, because how long is the season? Feel free to count on your fingers. 8, right? 8 months. Only 4, September, October, December, are this year. So prorate revenue. Okay, at the end of the year, the association owed $3,000 for services received in the month of December. What are you going to do with that? That's going to be a accrued liability, right? The association wants to use the restricted fund method, which we guessed from looking at the financial statements, and to use 3 separate funds: the operating capital endowment funds, all capital assets capitalized and amortized as applicable over their estimated useful life. Okay. I think that's all I wanted to tell you on this one. Little notes everywhere and then forget things. Amortization. Oh, I didn't talk about Part B. So this should give you enough of the little problem areas that you should be good to put this together. Part B is the cost child. And they tell you there's 500 kids registered. So be careful with that one. Because we're so used to thinking about net costs that we'll try and take off the registration fees. Okay? So with this only, use costs, not net costs. So that is, don't take off their registration fees. Now, this one's actually a very nice question, and I'll leave you to do that, because you need to think about it. A lot of times donors, and if any of you have donated to charitable or not-for-profit organizations, you often want to know metrics for how they're doing. And one of them could be cost per participant. Now, also internally, you'll want to know cost per participant. How come? Like, what are some of the reasons you might want to know cost per participant? Okay, imagine you're the nonprofit organization and I'm an angry parent. Why? And I don't like how you increased my registration fees. Right? Very critical. Why you need to know things like that, metrics like that. So anyway, do it. It's interesting to see what's included and what's not. Should you include amortization, do you think? There's kind of arguments for and against, right? And actually in the past, as you know from my talking to you on video, nonprofits weren't regulated, and so they didn't amortize anything. But amortization, could we run this program for these kids without the arena and the equipment? No, so it's a valid cost, but we're not going to say, well, this year you guys, you're really screwed because we had to buy everything, so you have to pay $6,000, right? You can't do that. So that's why we spread it out, right? It makes sense from a decision-making purpose. Okay, so that's all I wanted to do today. Make sure you had a good start on problems. Did you find this helped? Okay, good. I will put the video up and let's hope it sounds decent. And please, you guys, if there is one that's just jargony and insane, just me and I'll put in text or something.